Okay, so this is going to be really awkward because I have basically recorded this without audio, so it's a little bit of a problem that I have here with my microphone. So what are we going to talk about today is you will basically see that we're creating a new AWS instance from scratch. And so here we have the new AWS graphical user interface. There are a couple of changes. You can see that with a little new on the side. But most importantly, we will now basically start a new instance and get that ready to run your LAMP, or at least the Linux, Apache, and PHP, as we are going to plan the we're gonna for the database we're gonna use RDS, so that's external. So first thing you see is when you click on create new instance, it will basically get you the Amazon Linux, and you can scroll down, but I'm basically going to search for Ubuntu now. So by the way, I'm in EC2, just to let you know. And the reason for that is that the Amazon Linux is by now a pretty good solution that started out as a CentOS version, and now it's basically its own distro. But what we want to do is we want to basically use Ubuntu for multiple reasons. And I'm going to be honest, one of the reasons is that it just feels at home. As you can see, it's what I'm using, on my local machine as well. But also because it is just a more common distribution, and we kind of like the we don't want to be too bundled to something that is AWS specific. This could basically work regardless of your hosting solution. So what are we going to do is we chose the image, and now basically when it's loading, I have huge problems with the internet here. Come on. Okay, here you see the different kinds of possibilities that you have regarding the machine. So we have the we're going to basically use the micro that's free tier eligible, which means if you have a new Amazon account, that's going to be free for a year. It's got one CPU, 1 GB of RAM, and that's going to be it for now, and a little bit of storage to go with it, and that's all we need. And let's click on review and launch. What we need to do is, let me see, where are the security groups? Yes, this is what we want to change. So I prepared a security group for us. You can do that with create new security group. I already selected that. Where is it? I call it Stefan right here. And let's actually go through what kind of ports we require right now. So you can see I have port 80 open. That's important, especially for setup. So prior to us having a certificate, we need this port basically to be able to visit it on the web page. And as soon as I have the certbot running and a SSL certificate, I might reconsider and basically close those ports. As you can see over in the description, I have remove there. What you see here is basically that's Amazon's notation of anywhere. So that's the IPv6 version. The one above was the IPv4 version. And again, you can remove those once you have set up your SSL certificate, if you want to. I mean, this is not a necessity. SSH, that's I need that to shell in, so that makes sense. Those ports is something I require. And again, from anywhere. So 00 for IPv4, and the notation for IPv6. And it's important to know that when you set those up, you will not need to create two of those. That will be automatic when you click on that little drop down that says from anywhere. Here is the MySQL ports 3306. We use that for the RDS instance. We're not going to do that here. And then for the, you can see socket.io, I have the port 3000. That's where my node runs. That's pretty standard, I guess. And then here, last but not least, the actual HTTPS ports. We're also going to include them, and so that later we can basically visit that with an SSL connection. Okay, so then the only thing I'm worried about are the keys. Okay, this is basically just a review of everything that's happening. So I can click on launch. And here you see, so you can either choose an existing key pair or create a new one. I'm going to create the one that I created for, use the one that I created for exactly this example. And right, so make sure you have that. You cannot get that again. So if you don't have those keys, then you're doomed. Then create a new one. Okay, and let's kick this off. Let's name this, and I guess I have to call that instance 2 now, as the instance that I was using before. You can see terminated there, up there. This one, because I tried this before, it didn't work, so now we basically switch over to this. And that's probably going to take a little bit of time. Okay, so what we can do meanwhile is I'm going to copy this IP over, and then depending on what you use, you know, your PuTTY, your kitty on Windows systems, and in my case, I'm just going to use the actual, I'm going to use my SSH setup. Yeah, put that in keys. And call that instance, and just going to quickly exchange the IP. That's the old IP. And then users Ubuntu, that is pretty normal. And then let's write that out, and it should work once it's running, which, let's maybe check the logs. Yeah, that's a little bit of a problem with the internet that I have, that I'm not really sure. Where was that again? Here. Click on log. That's empty. That's a little weird. It's probably a connection problem. Let's try it again. A little strange. Takes a little bit longer than I remember. Doesn't seem that anything is moving here. Okay. Still not. I should have this paused for a second. What we can try is basically just visit it, maybe. Should probably reload the page. Okay. That looks better. Still don't see a log. that is very unusual. It's probably well. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to basically just connect to it and see if that works. Yeah, that makes sense. I actually need to type yes, and let's see if this, yeah, it connects. Okay, so now I'm basically in the instance, which basically means I could probably just visit it now. Let's take the public DNS, copy that, and we will not see anything now. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's just a blank instance. So we need to install a couple of things here. So let's see, what do we have to go through? We should probably start with npm. We have to install the PHP. There are a couple of things that we need to do. So let's go through this together. First thing that we're going to do is install Node.js. And I just have to see, because I kind of forgot, we probably need to add a repository and see how that goes. Oh, this claims to just... Yeah, I'm kind of doubtful on that one. It's probably not the newest version. Let's try it out. Okay, well, we should probably, we should always basically, do that at the start to be sure that, we've got all the packages available to us. Okay. Yeah, I'm doubtful. Let's check this out. Yeah, version 8. That is not the current version. It should be 11 or 12 or something. It's a little bit weird where it put me. Oh, okay. No. No, not exactly what I'm looking for. Let's see, DigitalOcean, they normally know what they talk about. And they do the same. Installing using PPA, that's more what we want to look at. And we're going to curl this one from home. No, this is not how I want to do it. This is not how I want to do it. I really seriously can't remember at the moment. Okay, 12, 14. Let's remember that at least. And then we take that one. I hope I have curl. And this is 10x, and then node source setup sh, and run the script under sudo. Oh, we probably just need an ebash. Uh-huh. I don't know. There should be a better solution. I've seen like a really nice one. I can't remember. It's actually been a while. Mm, let's see if we can find something that is Node Manager. Let's see what they say. That's from 2019. Ah, that looks better. Yeah, that's how we're gonna do it. That's what we need to do. That's weird. It overlaps like that. Okay. Um, basically, let's type that up quickly. And I'm suffering with this monitor here. Nodesource.com. Set up, and then it was 1214, was it? Yeah. So 12x should be fine. Let's do this. Okay. I see. Okay. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. Let's try it out. Way better. There we go. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I haven't done that in a while. So next thing we want to do is make sure that we can basically use global packages without sudo. That's actually quite interesting and important. So I mean, the whole permission set and so on is something that we're going to look in anyway. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that we have access to certain global packages without the necessity for sudo, because we also want to allow npm or node to execute particular things. So what am I going to do here is I'm going to create a folder in my home directory, npm packages. You'll all over the internet you will find npm instead of npm packages. Please don't do that. That is where the cache is also put. So if you clean your cache, you actually get rid of your global packages. Don't do that. Name it npm packages. And then okay, this I would probably do later, but we can do that right now too. So we basically set the config, and we can basically use the home variable here. And do npm packages. So that's where it's downloaded. So oops. Yeah, this is a little bit too flimsy here. I forgot to close the quotation. double quotes. Okay. So that's fine, but that still means the system can't find anything. So we need to basically make changes to our path variable, a problem that we know from basically all systems. So what can we do about that? In that case, we're using man pages. So I'm basically going to use the bash cr and see what I have in here. Bash rc, sorry about that. And okay, there are a couple of if statements here, there, okay. Yeah, let's just add that at the end. So let's be lazy and just copy. So we can basically see what's happening here is I account for a couple of things. So first of all, I basically create this, I export the path and amend it, and then I just make sure that the man path is used, and I basically account for the man path being defined in the bash rc, and of course that's not really that's not the case here, but just so it works for whatever you have in your bash rc. You have seen that we haven't defined it here, so that should work fine. And so that's basically just for security. So now the path basically consists of the man path, the npm store, and the original path. So let's try it out, and I assume we need to let's install Neon 3 CLI. Let's install a global package here. All right. Now let's see if we have access to it without sudo. And this is probably not working. Yeah. The reason for it is that we need to quickly either ID or log out. Just simply log out, probably. To open a new terminal. In that case, I'm just going to disconnect from the shell and log in again. And let's see if it works now. There we go. Perfect. So we've taken care of Node and NPM, which is great. And now we probably want to look into PHP and Apache. So it's actually quite interesting that like it's a good timing. Not only did the management system of AWS change, but also like there's PHP 7.4 out now, and that's basically great. So first thing we want to do is we already did the apt-get update, but let's do it again. Just so we just walk through the stuff clean. Oh, and actually, to my surprise, there is even stuff. Okay. Good to know. So the Y flag is just so I don't have to, go through another prompt and say, yes, I want to do that. And software properties common is what I need. Okay, and now I add the repository. They all start with PPA. Okay. Let's update one more time. Okay. Now let's install PHP 7.4. And maybe install is something I want to write here. Okay. So you can see that I don't know if you can see, but I mean there are a couple of things in here that it already ships with. One of them is Apache. So that's pretty convenient. Okay. Good. So now we can, where is it? We should be able to see the Apache default start page. Yes, and there we go. Okay, so from now on, basically, the port 80 is available, and that's in var www.html. Let's look at that quickly so that this is the index.html. That's exactly what we're looking at right now. Now, what's a little bit weird is, and you can see that this is now under root and is owned by root. That's a little bit of an issue for later on. So let's basically get out of here. And probably the first thing we want to do right now is think about like what kind of permission and groups we want to do. So the PHP itself will run under www data. So what I want to do is I want that this whole thing, this HTML, is owned by the user and the group www data. And recursively. Oh, HTML, yeah. Okay, so we can now see basically that that now belongs to www data as yeah, we intended it to be. Now our Ubuntu user is not part of the see, we're Ubuntu is not part of the www data group yet. So for ease, what we want to do is basically we want to add the user to the group www data. Need the rights for that. Okay. Check this out. And where it says 33, do you see it? Perfect. Probably have to log in and out again to make that happen for us. But let's try. So here it says directory is not writable. So this is what we want to do. This will probably not work now. Actually, that will pretty certainly not work. But I mean, that's the idea, is to basically run the PHP script. And as you can see, I don't even have to try. This will simply not be writable. So let's discard that and see why that's the case. Oops, I'm already in HTML. Stupid. Just make sure that the permissions are correct. Okay, so a new login should do, or a new terminal. Oops. Let's go back to where we've been. Oh, still not writable. Wonder why that is. So yeah. So what I want to do in that case, and this is something that I mean that's for now. I'm going to give this basically a user and group um, permission of 775, and that basically allows me to create files as part of the group, but not www data as a user. So that's basically something that well, we can talk about whether or not that's a smart idea. In my case, that's perfectly fine because I will never store anything that I in this directory that has any kind of security concerns. So everything should be outside of that anyway. But for now, let's keep it that way. So you can see I can now write this file, and we should be able to basically go to the browser now and say /info PHP, and there we go. Okay, it's a little blank. We're not shipping with a lot of extensions apparently. So let's basically go over to copy the IP address and go to our IDE and actually deploy. So I'm going to do a little trick here that is kind of like the minimum solution. So first of all, I quickly have to exchange this IP address. You can see I prepared this already, but again, it didn't work with how I'm recording it. So that's something that needs to be done. So what I'm going to do, hold on, here. What I'm going to do is I'm probably going to simply push over the not the composer, yeah, the composer. I need to install that first though. Yeah, I have not done that yet. See if we need to. No, we're fine. Okay. Very good. Now let's take our composer JSON and upload that. So why am I doing this is because then I know what I need, right? For the, oh yes, right, that is correct. Okay. See if it's there. It is there, see? Okay. So I will trigger the errors now of, yep, okay. So this is basically how I'm going to just quickly find out what are the absolute necessities when it comes to the extensions. And what do we find here? Okay, so we need, that's a little bit hard to see. Let's maximize this. Where are we? Here. Okay, so we need my SQLI and MB string. And there's probably more, but let's start with that. So extensions are also pretty simple. What you can do is basically you again install the PHP 7 4, and then we use this little trick and say, okay, so we want to have zip, we want to have MB string, and we want to have MySQLi. Okay. Okay, let's try again. Nope. We're still missing something. The DOM. That's DOM document. So let's do that one. At this point I'm only doing one because I don't know. Okay. Now look at that. Perfect. Looks very good. All right. Well, in theory that worked. So what am I going to do is here I have a relatively blank Neon 3 installation. So let me quickly just mark that. And I need basically all this stuff. Oh, the htaccess as well. Not the composer. We have that online. Okay. Just quickly upload that to instance. Again, not the best name probably, but it'll suffice. Okay, so it's a slow internet connection. Let's hope for the best. It'll take a little bit, and it doesn't make sense to basically yeah, we just have to wait for that. It's actually not that much. It's just that my internet is very unreliable. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, well, say I probably want to remove the index HTML. Let's see if it. Yeah. Hmm? It's still there. There we go. And it's gone. Okay. Don't forget your yes. Okay. So we did install the DOM extension, but we did not restart the Apache, did we? So let's restart the Apache. Give it a second, but it should be pretty fast. Bum. And there we go. All right. Okay, so the pitfall that we probably want to do is, so what I did is I created a component test. We're in that one. Just to see if the routing works, because what sometimes is an issue with new Apaches is how they're set up. So yeah, I thought so. So for a Neon 3 installation, or actually a lot of things, maybe in general, you want to allow the htaccess to work. So where was that again? Yep. And then there's a, oh yeah, Apache 2conf. Okay. So you will probably find people recommending putting that in the sites enabled and so on, and that's so what we're going to do is basically that our virtual host, I mean, we're just going to host one solution here, right? So the only thing that I want to do is I want to change it here, right there. right? So this will basically allow me to, oops, permission denied. Ugh, I have to sudo that. Hold on. And then, no keyboard, no mouse here. It's okay. Now where is it? I'm looking for the www. Ah, there we go. Okay, that's why people use Vim as soon as they're on a shell. But I think we'll be fine. Let's restart the Apache. Okay. Well, so something seems to be amiss with our htaccess file, huh? See what's wrong here? No. Is it log? No. Is it var logs? No. Is it var log? Jesus. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. And then Apache 2, I could have guessed that, I guess. And then error log, yeah, that's what we want to look at. Okay. So this is sorted, basically, resume invalid. The rewrite engine, okay. So, how do we activate that? Yeah, nope. That's not what we're looking for. We just need to kick it on. There we go. So A to N mod rewrite. It's just like the let's get out of here. So what was it? Sudo A to N mod rewrite. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm getting tired. Okay. Nope, of course with sudo. Okay. You need to do the system controller restart Apache. Actually, I like the service notation more. Okay. Bum. Okay. Now look at that. Now we should be good to go. And basically have set up our complete server infrastructure as required. There's not really that much that we need to do. I thank you very much for watching this. I know it's been a little bit ad hoc, but that's fine. That's how it normally works. I mean, you basically stumble upon things because also honestly there are changes all the time. So nothing's written in stone. So basically, how to go about things logically and overcome hiccups is basically the part that is required, because you will look into whatever format and find yourself find a tutorial and all of a sudden it doesn't work. So you have to start to learn how to think But for now, I think I can close this connection, and I thank you very much for watching, and hope it helps. Thank you so much.